Hey, sixth grade, it's Miss Springle here live from my living room, ready for another day of shared reading. In this unit, we've been focused on how different countries trade with one another, and today we're going to start a new text and find the key details and central idea. When I look at the title of this text, it's The Silk Road, Yesterday and Today. Well, we've already read about the Silk Road, and today we'll read the first half of this article, which focuses on what it was like in the past. Take a quick look at the map. What does it reveal to us about the Silk Road? Oh, I know that the Silk Road travels from the east all the way to the west in China. All right, let's get reading to find those key details. The word Silk Road conjure up a beautiful image, but the Silk Road was not made of silk, nor was it an actual road. It was a series of routes that linked Asia to Europe in ancient times. Traders from the West used the route to purchase silk from China, which is how the Silk Road got its name. Oh, I'm seeing that the Silk Road linked Asia to Europe in ancient times. That's pretty important. Let's keep reading. However, much more than silk and other goods were exchanged. As trading stations developed along the Silk Road, different people came together. They learned one another's languages and shared customs. Ideas and beliefs, including those of Buddhism and Christianity, spread. According to the Silk Road Project, an organization that studies the meeting of cultures on the Silk Roads, the intersections among people from diverse cultures along the way promoted an unprecedented sharing of commodities, ideas, arts, sciences, and innovations. Although the old Silk Road died out a long time ago, a new kind of Silk Road, a train route, exists today. And it too makes it possible to trade goods between the East and West. When I think back to my key details that I found throughout paragraph 1, I can really tell that the central idea is the trade route known as the Silk Road contributed to the sharing of goods, ideas, and technology between Asia and Europe. Our next section is called China and Rome. I know that these were the two places that the Silk Road connected. Let's read more about that. The Silk Road first became a prominent trade route between China and ancient Rome. In the 1st century CE, China exported silk to Rome, where it was very popular among Roman citizens. In exchange, Rome traded glassware and other items. The Chinese kept the process of making silk a secret until 500 CE. As a result, silk was rare and expensive, and it was in great demand from the West. Even after the secret was discovered, Chinese silk was preferred for its high quality. In turn, Western traders brought products such as silver, wool, and gold to China. They probably bought these things like silver and gold because the silk was so rare and expensive. One trade route on the Silk Road started around 120 BCE, as far east as the city of Chang'an, now Xi'an, which was the capital of the Chinese Empire. The route passed by the Great Wall of China. It skirted the brutal Taklamakan Desert in western China by either a northern or a southern route. It then went through the harsh Pamir Mountains of Afghanistan, continuing on to the deserts of the Middle East. Finally, it reached the Mediterranean. From there, the goods sailed to Rome. Wow, that was a really long route, wasn't it? Another route along the Silk Road ran between China and India. The main goods on this route were spices. Some, such as pepper, were more valuable than gold. So, some things I'm noticing here is that really things other than silk were traded on the Silk Road. They brought glassware and other items, even things like spices, such as pepper. Now, this section's not over, so let's take a look at the next slide. Travelers on the Silk Roads faced some of the most hostile landscapes on the planet: deserts, mountains, and icy steppes. So, this was not an easy route by any means, boys and girls. They also faced nomadic raiders from the north who would sweep in with their fast horses and steal their goods. To protect themselves, traders traveled in large caravans, or groups, on camels and horses to cross the deserts. Products other than silks and spices were also shipped and traded along the Silk Road. Goods from Chang'an, I don't know how to say that, Chang'an included chrysanthemums, rhubarb, and paper. Animals, such as horses, were brought from the west to China. From Rome came items ranging from gold coins to grapevines. Delhi sent cotton and precious stones. Medicines even found their way both east and west. Wow, are you guys seeing all these different items that were traded on the Silk Road? Paragraph 6. The Silk Road reached its peak during China's Tang dynasty. Oh my god, let me start over. The Silk Road reached its peak during China's Tang dynasty. When the dynasty declined in the mid 700s, so did trading on the Silk Road. During the 13th and 14th centuries, it became popular again when Chinese Mongol emperors, such as Kublai Khan, promoted the route. So that's important to know too, that it reached its peak during China's Tang dynasty. Now, based on everything I've read in this section called China and Rome, I know that they traded lots of different things on the Silk Road. And also, these different routes of the Silk Road had some really dangerous places that they went through. From here, I can tell the central idea is something like this. The Silk Road was a series of dangerous routes that traveled from east to west in order to trade a variety of products. As politics changed, so did the road. Last section here is about a guy we've talked about before, Marco Polo. No, that's not a picture of Marco. He looked a little different than that. This is actually someone called Kublai Khan. Let's get reading. In 1271, a traveler named Marco Polo of Venice made his famous journey to China along the Silk Road with his father and uncle. He had the opportunity to meet the great emperor Kublai Khan. He spent 17 years in China. Polo admired China's power, wealth, and complex social structure. The economy of China was huge compared to that of Europe. China produced great quantities of iron and salt, two products that could be used for trade with Europe. Marco Polo's tale of his time in China, The Travels of Marco Polo, helped promote trade with China. It became a bestseller. Many merchants followed the same route he took. They also sought many of the goods he described. The Silk Road would die out in the 1500s when travel by ship became faster and cheaper. But the Silk Road would still be remembered in stories today. As you take a look at my key details about Marco Polo, we can tell that Marco's experiences in China and his book about them helped to foster trade between China and other countries. So, boys and girls, in our reading today, we've done a little bit of looking at the Silk Road and what it was like in the past. Your job now is going to be to take a close read of paragraph 6 in order to answer 2 questions. Good luck. See you tomorrow.